Hi, my name's Steve Kane, and I'm going to show you a brief demo of the Google Wave preview, probably 4 or 5 minutes. I know a lot of people have been waiting for their invites to Google Wave. I was really lucky. I had a colleague of mine, Luca Candela. Thank you, Luca, product manager up in the Bay Area, that invited me into his Wave. So we're all going to benefit here. So I'll log in, and I'm signing into my Wave portal, and you can see it loaded pretty rapidly. Now I'm in Firefox, by the way, and it's version 3.0.14. And I'm noticing through today's testing, and this is my initial day with the product, that there are different behaviors depending on what browser you have. Oddly enough, Google Chrome did not operate too well. I had to deinstall and reinstall my Google Gears, and that seemed to help with some things, but still a little bit flakier than Firefox for some reason. And I also tried Internet Explorer. You've got to download some Google framework to make that work. And I'm on IE8, which is not really a generally released browser yet. So that may be part of the problem I was having there. But just anybody who's testing this initially with this pre-beta version needs to know that the browsers will have different behaviors. Okay, so we're looking at the main portal, and there are three panels that we're looking at right now. On the left-hand side, I've got some navigational things. So if I just want to see the waves in the center column that were initiated by me, I click on that, and you can see my profile picture and all of those. And if I want to see all, then I can click on that, and I can see any of the waves that I'm involved in. And I'm just going to click on my inbox. And anything that's outstanding right now for me is going to be emboldened. So, in other words, if another member has come along behind me, see, I've got several people collaborating on this. And if anybody had added anything since I've been in here last time, then this would be bolded. So that's kind of cool. It would draw your attention exactly to those areas that you need to respond to. But the real focus of this video is going to be what's happening in the current wave or the current conversation. And so let's create a new wave over here and see how this all works. Now I've got a little rectangle here where I can put in content, any text, video, pictures, whatever content that I want, gadgets into this conversation. And I'm going to start off just by typing in a little text here. Let's call this demo wave. And I'm going to say done. And it says, hey, do you want to add some participants? And sure, let me add Luca Candela. And Luca may not be online right now, but when he comes back online, he's going to see what we're doing here. So now I've got one blip, and I want to then add another one. So I just did a quick shift and enter. So there's several ways that you can start another blip or piece of content. And you're going to use the key shortcuts really quick. I think it's just easier to do it. So the first thing I'd like to do is just let's talk about where we're going to go here in the next 4 or 5 minutes. And so I'm a real slow typist, so I'm just going to cut and paste some things in here. I'd like to cover a few things here. Well, I've just pasted the comment that we talked about in number one. I'm going to add some images next. We'll upload some files, or actually, I'm going to describe why that's not possible right now, but it's something you definitely want to do and be able to do in a Wave. And I'm going to add something called a gadget, and then we're going to end with what I think, and I'm kind of a geeky guy, but is a very interesting insight into some Google um, mystery. Not a mystery, but just something that most people don't get to see very often. So here we are. I'm going to be done with that, and I'm going to add yet another blip, and this time let's go over and just 1 second. So I want to add some images to this wave, and so I'm just going to go out to an Explorer window, and I'm going to drag in some pictures I have on my local disk, and then it'll upload them, and it works pretty fast. As you can see, the thumbnails come up really fast. And so at this point, and this is actually my rock and roll band, by the way, guys. It's called the Lost Thoughts, and we just had a gig at the local cafe called Paradise Perks a couple of weeks ago. Had a lot of fun. So here's now the next thing that we would like to do is to upload a file. Let's say I have a resume or a spreadsheet out there, or some kind of a anything that I wanted to upload. So I should be able to go down to the files menu here and download that, or click down on the down arrow and get this cool menu, but it's all grayed out as you can see. Now, I understand that other people have this working, so I think again it's a browser issue for me. So I'm not going to be able to show you that, but it should be as easy as browsing onto your drive or your network and uploading whatever you want, sharing files. Okay. The next thing that we want to be able to do is to add a gadget. And gadgets and these are things. The cool thing, of course, to know about Google Wave is that it's open, open APIs. So there's just 6,000, 10,000 or more developers that are furiously working on all kinds of plugins to add. And when you add a plugin to your own profile or your own Wave, you'll see it up here on your toolbar. And so I've added a few, and one of the ones that we're just going to look at here quickly is something called a yes, no, maybe gadget. And so it's just kind of a real simple survey. And so I've added in there. It's that simple. And let's say, was this demo interesting? And I'm going to hope that you're going to say yes. And so it's going to record that. And so I'm done with that. And then finally, I promised to end with something that was an interesting insight into Google. So if you've never been inside of, I'm going to open up another blip here. If you've never been inside of a data warehousing or the cloud, one of these huge warehouses of servers that Google maintains, then you're going to be interested in this. And this is actually a walkthrough of a Google um, so it's a Google server farm. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this brief demo. I think it was a little bit over 5 minutes, but not too much over. And there's, for many of you, an introductory view to what Google Wave's all about in this preview. Take care. Thanks for watching.